Hi folk, it's Lucy here at the Whole Health Project. I'm here to do our first live mini workshop on the breath. I'm going to leave it a couple of minutes just to get people coming, to give them a bit more time to come in live. I am streaming from Bali, where Rachel and I are. I'm in a co-working space so that I can have a bit of P&Q, but the weather is lovely today, as it is always in Bali, and really excited to offer this to you. Great, we've got some more people joining, that's awesome. So this first part of today, we're going to do I'm going to do a little talk about the connection between the breath and the nervous system. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up live, so this becomes a separate video for people to watch, and then I'm going to come on live again. So stick with me to do the practice live that will help with the nervous system. So the talk's not going to be that long. Hi, I can see we've got Dante, Haifa. Hi there, got some hearts coming in, great. Stick with me after the talk so that we can do the practice together. I'm literally just going to stop the live, start again, just so that people can either access the workshop afterwards or access the practice separately. It also means that you'll get to go back and watch the practice separately to give it a go after today as well, so you don't have to listen to the lecture, you can go straight into the practice. But as I said, today we're going to be talking about the connection between the nervous system and the breath, which is one of the most important aspects of breath work, particularly now when there are so many people who are chronically stressed. So we've got more people joining us, that's awesome. Give me a little wave just so that I know you're there. It's nice to see the little hearts coming up so that I can see that you are there. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get going. I am sure there's going to be some stuff that I'm going to repeat that you already know, and there's going to be some stuff that is new to you. But I really want to join the connection. Yay, a little heart, thanks. Join and the connection between the nervous system and the breath. Some of it's going to seem obvious to you, but it's not necessarily something that we are always conscious about. So first of all, we have to understand how the nervous system works. So the nervous system has two kind of ways of working. There are parts of the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, which is the nervous system that happens without our conscious control. So like the heart beating, the heart will beat and it will speed up or slow down without us consciously telling it to speed up or slow down. Of course, we can go for a run and it will speed up, but that's because we've gone for a run, not because we've been thinking speed up, speed up, speed up. And then we've got the part of the nervous system that we can control. So I can consciously move my hand up and I can consciously move my hand down. And that's the part of the nervous system that we can control with our thoughts. So the important part is the autonomic nervous system splits into two branches. We have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. I'm sure you've heard of these terms, but stick with me so you can really understand how this is relevant to our breath. The sympathetic nervous system is the nervous system that kicks in when our body perceives or knows that it's safe. So if you are lying at home and you're reading a book and you're nice and relaxed, the body uses all these senses that it's getting from external environment, and it creates a picture and knows that it's safe. And it's like, okay, I'm not in danger. So it's called the rest, restore, digest, and reproduce nervous system. So then the body will get, knowing that it's safe, it doesn't have to save your life or anything. It goes, okay, great. I've got all these things to do that will, on my to-do list, that will really help this body thrive. So I'll detoxify. I will flush out any inflammation. I'm going to digest this food really well. If you're in a go, go, go mode, your body won't prioritize digesting food well. It means that our hormones are regulated. All these things that, if you can imagine, if you are being chased by a tiger, are not a priority. Your body is going to be like, I need to just quickly change all those hormones so that they're nice and balanced, or I'm just going to flush out some of those toxins. No, it's going into survival mode. So that's the parasympathetic nervous system. Sorry, if I said sympathetic nervous system before, I meant parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is our fight, flight, and freeze response. So back in the day, we had tigers chasing us, and the body perceived through the eyes or whatever it is, through something attacking you, that it's in danger. Then it switches into the sympathetic nervous system. So parasympathetic nervous system is rest, restore, digest. Sympathetic nervous system to keep you alive. So it does its best, it gives you the best possible chance to stay alive. So all your blood and your energy goes to extremities so that you can run away or fight or freeze and be high alert and see what the situation is. Your focus becomes externally focused because you're perceiving and you're looking out for danger. Your energy goes away from your digestive system because, remember, digesting is not a priority when you are potentially about to die. So it takes the energy away from the digestive system, and it switches off all its tasks to keep your body happy and healthy, because the priority right now, it doesn't matter about the tasks, is keeping you alive. If you imagine, if your house is on fire, you're not going to start sweeping the floor in the kitchen. But when your house is nice and safe, you need to sweep the floor in the kitchen because it keeps it a really clean house. So the autonomic nervous system splits into these two branches: the sympathetic nervous system when you're in fight or flight, and the parasympathetic nervous system when the body perceives that you are safe. Now, nowadays, often the stresses are not from tigers, but from emails, accumulative responsibilities, maybe relationship stresses, but the body reacts in the same way. So your body then turns all the energy to extremities, makes you externally focused. That means you're not internally focused. It means it's harder to perceive your own emotions, or to listen to that gut feeling, or to be empathetic. And then our body will, if it stays in the sympathetic nervous system, so if you get a lot of stresses throughout the day, then we are in what's called sympathetic nervous system dominance. And that has a lot of chronic knock-on effects for our overall health. So we want to be having a nice balance between the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system, but we want to predominantly be in the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, how does this affect our breath? Where do we breathe in the body when we are stressed? We breathe up here, right? Right up in the chest. Short, sharp breath. Where do we breathe when we're really nice and relaxed? Here. If you imagine a newborn baby lying on its back, breathing, you see its belly rising and falling, and it's super relaxed and it's breathing perfectly. When we inhale, our diaphragm contracts and moves down, and that sucks air into the space that's been created in our lungs. And when we breathe out, it relaxes and pushes up, and that pushes all the air out. So when we're nice and relaxed and we're breathing into our belly, we're allowing more space for the diaphragm to drop down, and we're getting more oxygen in the body, which is great. So if we are stressed from our perception of what's making us stressful from the external environment, emails, stresses at home, accumulative responsibilities, always on the go, then, and we're not conscious about our breathing, then we're breathing up here. And with anything, if you do it a lot of the time, it becomes automatic in the body. So if we're constantly like this at our computer, we're going to go around like this and hunched over the rest of the time, because our body gets used to what we do a lot of the time. So if we have a lot of stress in our lives and it sends our breath up into our chest, then the diaphragm muscle becomes weak. These muscles get stronger, and it becomes a lot harder to then breathe deep into the belly. So the beauty about the connection between the nervous system and the breath is one of the functions in the body that is part of our autonomic nervous system. Remember, the autonomic nervous system is the nervous system that we can't control, so like your heart beating. And we breathe throughout the day without having to think about it. But then we can manipulate the breath. It's our gateway into the autonomic nervous system. And our nervous system is the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system splits into the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So by manipulating the way we breathe, we can influence whether we are in the parasympathetic nervous system or the sympathetic nervous system. So let's say we know we've got a stressful day ahead of us, and we know there's going to be a lot of moving around, and there's going to be a lot of doing, and potentially some difficult conversations with some colleagues or some family members or whatever. If we start our day breathing deeply into the belly, we tell our body that we're safe. Then when we go into those environments that might be a little more stressful, and we calm down again and we breathe into the belly, the message to the body that we're safe is continued. We can use our breath to help to create the picture for our body that we're safe. And then when we're safe, not only are we not chronically in the sympathetic nervous system, but also when we are safe and we're not chronically in the sympathetic nervous system, this has an ongoing effect, knock-on effect for our health. But when we're in the sympathetic nervous system, we are externally focused. We're externally focused for a reason. We are looking for danger, we're looking for trouble, we are looking for harsh words from someone, and we are on the attack or the defense. When we stay in this parasympathetic nervous system, and we can do this by breathing deeply into the belly, we tell our body that we're safe. The autonomic nervous system switches into the parasympathetic nervous system, and we can be much more internally focused. Remember, sympathetic nervous system makes us externally focused. Parasympathetic nervous system is when we can look inwards. Then we can be more in touch with our intuition. We can be more in touch with perceiving and relating differently to our emotions. Rather than reacting to them, we can respond to them. We can take a choice to take some time out and then come back into the situation. We can be more connected to our inner feelings and not just surviving with reactions and that go, go, go mode. We become much more centered in ourselves and much more responsible for our own emotions. So, to recap, we find that today a lot of people are sympathetic nervous system dominant, which just means you spend a lot of time, too much time, in the sympathetic nervous system. This has a knock-on effect with our overall health because our body is constantly looking for danger and sending the energy away from the digestive system, away from the reproductive organs. It's not safe to have a baby, so that's going to start switching off. It has effect with our libido. It has effect with how well our body can detoxify. Over time, this has more and more chronic effects to our health. And when we are in the parasympathetic nervous system, we are able to perceive more of our inner messages. We are able to keep the body, keep the story to the body that we're safe, because we are safe. And so we can digest and assimilate our food If we're constantly stressed, it doesn't matter how good your diet is, if your body can't digest it properly, it just won't take on the nutrients. So we can use our breath as a gateway into the autonomic nervous system, the nervous system that happens without us thinking about it. A gateway into the breath and a gateway to telling the body directly that we are safe and that we can be in the parasympathetic nervous system. Then we become more aware of when the breath starts going further up here and when we can use it deep into the belly. And then when we notice it going up, we can take some deeper breaths and calm the body back down. So hopefully that gives you a clear idea of the connection between the two and how we can use our breath to manipulate the nervous system so that we can stay in the parasympathetic nervous system. If anyone has a question, then post it in this video below. I can see some of the questions here. You can write a little comment. So write a comment in the comments box here. And I am going to stay on here for a couple more moments to see if there's any comments coming through. And then I'm going to hang up on this live and then go live again with practice. So, have I got any comments there? I've got a lovely heart. Thank you. We're going to go into the practice, so stick with me. I'm only going to be a couple of moments. I just want this to be 2 separate videos so that you can either watch the workshop or the mini talk back, or you can go straight into the practice. And we're going to look at belly breathing. And this might seem super simple, but believe me, there is so much to discover here. It's amazing how we have forgotten how to breathe into our belly, and how many muscles, our breathing muscles, particularly our diaphragm, our main breathing muscles, have become weak. And so this is a great training for us to start developing those muscles again, and then use that as a tool to keep us feeling much calmer, less stressed, and that has a beautiful knock-on effect for our overall health. So stick with me. I'm going to go live in a second. Stay with me, and we'll do the practice together. All right, see you in a second.